Whenever you're ready.
All right. Hi, my name is Charlie Gearin, and I will be focusing on the positive and negatives of animal testing through the scientific and environmental lenses. Animal testing has been used for thousands of years, dating all the way back to 500 BC, and in that time, humans have discovered incredible things. We have found cures to certain diseases such as polio, a life-threatening disease that is caused by the polio virus. The virus can spread from person-to-person contact and can affect the human spinal cord, leading to the person with polio to be paralyzed, as shown in the picture on the left. And other diseases such as smallpox, a serious infection caused by the variola virus, leading to a progressive fever and skin rash that has small bumps, hence the name smallpox. And a disease such as measles. This is an acute viral respiratory disease. Symptoms include a fever over 105 degrees Fahrenheit, a cough, coryza, and conjunctivitis. Those are known as the 3 C's. And this disease is very common in infants. So some may ask the question, why does animal testing even matter? None of those diseases that were listed would have been cured as fast as they were if not for animal testing. Animal testing should be used because certain animals such as mice, monkeys, rats, and others share a lot of DNA with humans, making it more efficient and successful. However, there are negative side effects to animal testing and the impact that it has on the environment. Many good things have come from animal testing, one being how certain diseases are cured. Some of these include breast cancer, brain injuries, childhood leukemia, cystic fibrosis, tuberculosis, multiple sclerosis, and many others. And even COVID-19. When COVID-19 started in 2020, scientists used mice, rats, and other animals to find a vaccine that was safe and worked. If animals were not used for testing, it would have taken much longer for the vaccine to come out. And while they were even testing for human concern, they found a vaccine that was safe and worked for animals. Another reason we should use animal testing is how similar they are to humans. A news article from Britannica quotes, chimpanzees alone share 99% of their DNA with humans, and rats 98%. And they all have the same bodily functions and organs as humans, such as the heart, liver, stomach, and many others, making it safe to use to test on and the cure to be reliable. Another reason is not morally right to be testing on human beings, especially not knowing the short and long-term effects. If an experiment goes wrong, human lives are at stake. The National Association for Biomarker Research states, typically, animal studies are essential for research that seeks to understand complex questions of disease progression, genetics, lifetime risk, or other biological mechanisms of a whole living system that would be unethical, morally wrong, or technically infeasible, or too difficult to perform on human subjects. Animals also do not live as long as human beings do. And depending on the animal, they have a shorter lifespan. For example, lab mice live only 2 to 3 years, so scientists are able to study short and long-term effects in a shorter amount of time, compared to humans that would take much longer to figure that out. So that brings the next question. What happens to our environment due to animal testing? And even though we've had very many good things, our environment is heavily affected. Animals disposed of from labs can cause growth of fungi, air toxicity, and hazardous waste, affecting our environment every day. Air pollution is a main cause of that. Toxic chemicals released by scientists can cause damage to their skin, lungs, and functional organs in the body, also leading to cancer side effects. Cancer may be short-term, but mainly lethal and dangerous. Catherine Groff from Open Access Journal quotes, air pollution is produced by the emission of gases and particulates resulting from incineration of animal carcasses and laboratory supplies, such as animal bedding, that may contain experimental chemicals, drugs, and other toxins. In conclusion, animal testing has been a part of cultures for years and we still use it to this day. Some believe that we should, and others disagree. There are positive and negatives to animal testing, and even with the negatives it has on our environment, animal testing is useful for helping animals, humans and animals themselves.
Okay, thank you. A couple of questions. What evidence did you gather that you didn't use?
So some evidence that I gathered, that I did not use was like some of the negatives more negatives from animal testing, such as like the ratio of animals that were used and the ones that like were actually successful, because there are a lot of animals that lives were wasted due to animal testing. But my main focus was the cures and the positives, so I chose not to put that in my project.
Okay, thank you. Another question. If you had more time, what additional research would you conduct related to this?
If I had more time, I would have loved to spend more time on like the economic and the morality part of it, because I'm really fascinated with the numbers of like money and all that stuff, and how like the industries that use animal testing could be used and how those would be affected if we even stopped animal testing altogether. And I know very many different people have like different perspectives on like the moral part, like is it right to be testing on humans? Is it right to be testing on animals altogether? And if we could even come up with a solution where we don't have to use either of them, and we could figure out a solution from there.
Okay, very good. Thanks.